Hi, everyone.
Hi.
How are you guys doing? So, I am here today with the amazing and fabulous Erin Johnson.
Thank you so
So,
much for having me. I'm happy to be
yeah,
here.
thanks so much for being here. We're so excited because we never have had an author ever on this channel.
Well, I'm so honored to be the
Yeah.
first. That's awesome.
So, why don't you tell us just a little bit about you and where you're from and what you love writing and your favorite ice cream flavor, all the important stuff.
We can talk a lot about the ice cream. I'm from Tempe, Arizona originally and just moved up to the Pacific Northwest a couple of years ago. And so we were just talking. I'm like, it's rainy and drizzly right now, and I love it. And I live with my fiance, and we have a little dog, Henry, who's hilarious. And he's back in the other room squeaking right now if you hear him.
What kind of dog?
What kind?
Yeah.
He's like a little, we think he's some kind of rat terrier wiener dog mix. So he's really long.
Cute.
Yeah. But, and then, yeah, I've always loved writing and reading. And I think I've always gravitated towards anything with fantasy. And then I also always loved like the Nancy Drews and stuff. So I think paranormal cozy mysteries are a really nice little fit for me. And then ice cream. I don't know if you've ever had McConnell's ice cream. It's this brand they sell at like Whole Foods and New Seasons. And I'm obsessed with, I think they make it in Santa Clara or somewhere in Northern California. And
I'm going to write that down.
Yeah, I'm not really even an ice cream person, but my partner got me going on it. And it's like, we can't have it in the house because we just eat it. But my favorite is vanilla. What do they call it? It's like double dark chocolate. It's basically peanut butter, dark chocolate, and vanilla. It's just really good.
Yum. Yeah, I love ice cream. Like, I think I almost have it every day. And I even have 2 ice cream makers.
Oh, that's awesome.
Out of capacity, then I can use the other one.
Do you mostly make your own ice cream then?
Yeah, I make yes and no. I do both. I eat so much ice cream, I'm not even sure. I just there's just
always coming from. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. What's your favorite dessert? Ice cream's mine.
Yeah, I think for the last year or so, it's been that McConnell's particular flavor.
Right.
It's like, if I want dessert, that's what I want. A little pint of that.
So let's see who we have here. So we have, hey, Tony.
That's my mom.
Jamie Rick.
Oh, hey,
Rick. Jason. We're in Pennsylvania, Harrisburg area. Yeah, I never ask people where they're from. You can tell us where you're from.
Yeah.
Polly, hello from Wellsville, New York. Love this book. Awesome.
Thanks, Polly. Hi.
Marilyn Campbell, hi everyone. Elle Wren Burke, hello. April, hello all. Amber and Jana. And hi, Erin.
Hi.
And happy to be here. I'm in Tucson, Arizona. Nice.
We were neighbors.
Cody, hello. You look beautiful, Erin. And Trisha, you're beautiful as well. Aw, everybody's so nice here. Amber, I'm in Pennsylvania too, State College area. Cool. Rosendale, New York. I don't think I know where that is. Is that upstate, Jason? I'm very bad with geography. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to recap spelling the T, and by we, I mean me, and then Erin will interject because I will ask your questions along the way because in case I'm confused. And then just put in the comments what you loved most about this book and if you were able to figure out the mystery, because I know I for sure was not able to figure it out to the end. So really good with the red herrings and all of the suspects. So it starts out with Minnie Wells in Bath, England, which is kind of, I think, was this a play on words because she's a water witch and she's in Bath?
Kind of. So in looking into it, I've gotten to visit a couple times, but just for like a day each time. But the Roman baths there are really like a big draw. And it's because like, I think in Roman times, the city was founded for the springs. And so people would go take baths there. So it's like, yeah, it's all kind of
Okay.
tied together.
But she is from Arizona, which is
Yes.
funny because if she's away from the water source and bath, then she loses
Yeah.
her witchy powers. Because is that because she like gets all dried up from the heat in the desert?
Kind of. I think I was like, I was, putting myself in the Arizona summer, just like, oh, it's so hot. But
Um,
yeah, I was kind of like, it's kind of ironic for a water witch to be
that's what I
living in the
thought.
desert, so yeah.
It's all coming together now.
Yeah.
All right. So it starts out she needs a job. She's just gotten a divorce
Mhm.
and she wants to stay in the country. Oh, I know. I was going to ask you this. So it looks like she was married for like 5 years. Why didn't she? It's like a logistical thing. Why
Yeah.
didn't she just get a visa, like or a green
Yeah.
card? Like,
Totally. I think the way I picture it with Minnie is they met in college, so she was really young, and she was just kind of like, oh, I was just planning on going for a semester, and I had this fairy tale romance, and
okay.
a lot of her arc is she got really lost in it. So they moved to his hometown with all his friends, and she worked for his company doing marketing, and so I think she just kind of thought like, oh, life's good. She had no idea the
Mhm.
divorce was coming, and
Oh,
just it
yeah.
kind of blindsided her. So
She was not planning ahead for
no,
divorce.
no. I think she was a little naive and just kind
Yeah.
of like, everything's good.
Okay. Got it. All right. So she doesn't have a visa. So she's going to be kicked out and has to go back to Arizona, which is hot. We don't know if she has sunscreen. She just doesn't
Yeah,
want to go.
she's gonna get
Stay
burned.
there. London. So it starts out one of those things where it's a magical world already. Her roommate is a vampire. He's going to get her a job at a vampire tea room
Mhm.
where there's all these hunky guys that like look like they're Chippendales guys, right? And
Yep.
they're just serving you tea.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought. I was like,
Yeah.
is this gonna be a romance? This totally
Yeah.
totally could have made this a reverse harem. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
could have gone a completely different direction.
I was very inspired by like I haven't watched them in a long time, but my sister got really into like Korean dramas, and so there's a couple where it's like a big cast of guys, and there's like
Mhm.
one girl, and it's the comedy ensues. So it was kind of little play on that.
Got it. Okay. All right. So it's the Bath Butler Cafe
Mhm.
and it's a vampire tea shop. And so when she gets there, okay, so she gets there and she's in an alley. She overhears these two guys arguing,
Yeah.
and they're college guys and they're arguing about rugby. And so she, like any normal person, is like, I will just pretend I'm not here and I'll just drop right. Because it would just be awkward to like walk in there.
Right.
So in the meantime, there's this black cat that comes by. It's really cute, but she's like, you know what? I got to go get a job. So she just leaves the cat. She goes into the cafe, and inside there, she's supposed to meet with Fitzgerald Connors, right?
Mhm. Yes.
So Fitz, do we call him Fitz?
Fits. Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm
Fitz
trying to
is
think of him.
also this super hunky vampire, but I did pictured Fitz more like a Pierce Brosnan. Like he's not buff like a football player,
Yeah.
he's more like sleek,
Yeah.
right?
That's how he's a little more suave and yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
So she's like, "I need a job. My friend said you'd help." And he's like, "Yeah, I can't hire you." So she's like, "What do you mean you can't hire me?" So in the meantime, Hunkalicious, the guy that was arguing in the alley, Brock, has gone into the back with Colette, who is this married woman, and her husband's like, "Oh, you're going to the back." So it seems like he's hip to the fact that she's cheating on him,
Right.
but try to pretend like he's not, because apparently the women inside there are like treated like the 1800s and she needs an escort to take her to the
Yeah.
bathroom. So he escorts her to the bathroom, and then all of a sudden Minnie's like, she's like crying because she can't get a job, and so she goes to the bathroom too. So everybody's in the bathroom, and like so she finds Brock and he's like, she goes into the bathroom, she like runs the water so she can't hear anything because she doesn't want anyone to hear her crying.
Yeah.
And then she like finally turns the water off and she hears Brock like wheezing, and she's like,
Mhm.
what is that? She opens the door, she finds him on the ground, she tries to stab him with his EpiPen, but it doesn't work. So now he's been murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we have our victim. His name is Brock. He is a college rugby kid who
Mhm.
I guess was at Oxford, but he's kind of like a dumb jock. I think I'm getting the sense like, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Like he comes from a very rich family and is kind of just used to not really having to try too hard for
Okay.
that kind of stuff. So yeah.
He just gets by and is suave
Yeah.
good looks, right?
Yeah.
So in the meantime, then he now has to go to this lower university called Remington University of Bath, which is obviously not Oxford, but
Yeah.
he does have a scholarship still for his rugby. And then So she is trying to investigate. So obviously she already suspects like maybe it's Colette who is in there. Plus, when Colette goes to the back, there's another woman, Grace, who now is jealous that she sees Colette go back there, which kind of
Mhm.
reminds me of that scene from Dirty Dancing. I don't know if anyone's old enough to remember this,
Yeah, I've
where
seen it, but it's been a
he
while.
has the affair with the rich white woman, and then when he starts dating the other young woman, the other rich woman, it like gets all jealous because she sees
Yes,
it.
yes,
Everyone wants to cheat with the hot guy.
yes. Yeah, very much along those lines, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the situation we have going on here.
Yes.
So then she ends up going home. She finds Tilda, who's this cute little, that same black cat. And she's like, I think you're my familiar. Which the only question I have now is, did she just go this whole time without a familiar?
She did. So familiars in this world are like sometimes witches have them, sometimes not. It's sort of a, kismet if you find your familiar. But when she moved away from Bath with her soon to be ex-husband, they
Mhm.
were kind of outside her little magical radius. So for those 5 years, just not much was going on
Got it.
magic wise.
Okay, then. So then she's like, I'm going to solve this murder. And then because I will be so valuable, then Fitz will hire me. That's her like new mission in life, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So she actually does a pretty good job of sleuthing, even though she has no idea who anyone is. She goes back to the tea room. She finagles her way into his locker, the victim's locker, and sees a picture of his ex-girlfriend who he dumped.
Mhm.
And it's like, I would do anything to get you back.
Mhm.
But it is a little ego boost for her because she's like, well, I am desperate, but I am not that desperate.
Yeah.
Like, at least I did not do that for myself.
Right.
So she knows this girl is like totally crazy. She finds the landlord, Brock's landlord, and Brock's landlord is like, that girl never came here. So then she's like confused because she never came
Mhm.
here, but she does get confirmation that Colette did go there a
Yeah.
lot. So she gets confirmation that she was having the affair. So then she's like, okay, well, I better look up some more information. So she finds out online that he was kicked out for plagiarism. So she's like, well, let me go to the school, talk to this Ariana person, and
Yeah.
also try to find this whole plagiarism thing and see if she can find more information out about it. So, or I think she finds that out afterwards, right? I think I have the order mixed up. Right.
I was having to reread. I was like, I've got my book here because there we go. Because I was like, I wrote this about a year ago, and so some of the particulars, I'm kind of like, what was the order? But I think you got it. Yeah.
Okay, so at some point, so she goes back there. She's actually pretty crafty on how she gets into Ariana. She goes up to the desk at the dorm because not everyone can they don't let just random people go in. She's like,
Yeah.
I have a delivery
Yeah.
right? Like she just happens to be getting a food delivery. And then
Yeah,
she
she's like,
asks the
I'm
guy,
DoorDash. Yeah.
yeah. And then Ariana's like, who are you? And then she's like, oh, we met at a party or whatever. And so
Yeah.
anyways, the gig is up though because she's like, she asked her a question, which it would be obvious if you were a student, you would know. And she's like,
Yeah.
you're not a student. She's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I am. And she's like,
Yeah.
no, you're not.
Yeah.
So then she just leaves, but she gets all the information she needs. And then she confirms with the front desk guy that she was at home. Ariana was home and sick, so she couldn't have killed Brock at that
Yeah.
time. Then she goes, so I haven't mentioned this yet. So her love interest, at first I was like, maybe it's the roommate, Gustav, but
Mhm.
it's not. He's
Nice.
like just a bestie kind of friend.
Yeah.
And so the love interest is Detective D.I. Prescott.
Yeah.
So he is this guy on the case. He's super hunky, but he's not like Chippendale's hunky. He just seemed more like a smart, like cute guy, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that guy
Exactly.
next door.
Yeah.
So she finds out that she goes to the funeral and she finds out that Brock's dad cut him off and that, supposedly there's a watch that he has. Nobody recognized the watch. It's really expensive. I guess it was a gift that Colette gave to him.
Mhm.
So we're back to the married woman again. So the married woman, I believe it's the married woman who ends up inviting her to the book club, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So this whole time she also loves books. So she gets invited to this Jane Austen book club. And so she's like, I guess I'll go to the book club just to spy on you and get
Yeah.
more information, even though
Yeah.
she doesn't want to. So they end up exchanging phone numbers. So she's able to text her. And so, anyways, and this whole time she keeps going back to Fitz and he's like, I can't hire you. I can't hire you. We don't have money. And she's like, I can fix this. And he's like, I don't want to hire you. So, anyways, in the meantime, she works on her witchy powers. So her friend Gustav takes her and Tilda to this witch, and she's like practicing stuff, and she's learning
Yeah.
how to move things with her mind, right? Just her mind.
Yes. Well, yeah, she can, but yeah.
So, because we need this for later. So then she's practicing moving things with her mind. She actually ends up confronting on campus the plagiarism guy. So the whole plagiarism ring is that one college student is super smart and just writes papers for other people. So pretty standard. But for whatever reason, Brock, because he's a moron, is like, I'm going to add extra things in here. And he like copied and pasted somebody else's paper again. So that's how he gets caught for plagiarism. And then he tells them that he bought it from this guy. And then the guy was like, well, if I'm going down and bringing everybody down. So like tons of people get expelled from Oxford. And so this guy is upset because Brock ended up at another university with a full scholarship, and he like has nowhere to go because he was cut out for plagiarism. And so he is actually the killer. So he is the one that goes, he kidnaps her and he sticks her in the trunk, but she's been working on her telekinesis, right? That's the word.
I think so. Yeah.
So she's been working on telekinesis, and she is able to knock him out with her big, huge book that she was going to take to book club. See how it all comes together? It's like perfect.
It's based on my own copy. I have one, and it's like this. Yeah, really heavy.
Huge, right?
Yeah,
paid by the word back then.
Yeah.
So she ends up knocking him out. Her hunky detective comes over to save the day afterwards, and then they don't ride off into the sunset together, but Fitz does agree to give her a chance to prove herself. And so she puts together the Jane Austen book club and like caters more to women with all these tiaras and like more girly decorations. And everything's a win. And so she gets the job and she can stay in London.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. That's the whole book.
It was a great recap.
Yeah. Hopefully everyone's here and they read it, because otherwise it's all read for you now.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where are we with comments? Location. I admit, I thought it was a brothel at first. Yeah, right? I was like, all these hunky men, this could be a reverse harem. Maybe it's just been categorized wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, we didn't go there. Maybe under my pen name, we'll get a little.
Sure. The real spelling the tea book. But really. Jenna, the tea room is so cute. I instantly wanted to go there. Yes, it was super cute. Yeah, I want hot men to serve me. So I like the tea room setting too. And I like
it's actually based on a place I got to go, which was pretty cool. Really? My sister and I we love Japan. We were in Tokyo, and there was a place called the Butler Cafe, and it was definitely aimed at women, and it was such a funny place. But that's definitely part of where I got some of this. But they dressed in the full like butler gloves, and like you had to ring a bell to go places.
Nice.
It was just hilarious. And I think a lot of people there go to practice their English, but it was like just hilarious being there. And like,
do you speak Japanese?
No. I'd be good by now.
Yeah, I don't speak Japanese either. I lived in Osaka for 4 months.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
But everywhere I went, I would just like take something like a piece of paper. I'd print out whatever I wanted to say and I'd hand it to people.
Yes.
It's just so much easier. Right?
Yeah, we had an app on the phone, just like yeah.
All right. So everyone loves the tea room. Let's see. Well, Jana, I never actually read any Jane Austen books, but now I might have to.
That's a little less exciting than a bunch of hunky butlers, but I do love them.
Well, I feel like I can't believe you made it through school without, like, I feel like at some point it's a required reading in somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Even if you don't want to read it, like even men have read Jane Austen because they were forced
to. Have to. Yeah.
Jana Port, you can always get a massive copy that doubles as a weapon, like Minnie.
Yeah. Like I was saying, I've got it.
Carry it around for self-defense.
Yeah.
Everyone will be like, I don't need a gun. I have a book.
Massive book.
Yeah. Mary, I'm happy to be here. Awesome. Happy to see you. Jana, I honestly couldn't guess who did it by the end. That's how good the clues were. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
It was very good. Amber, I love Jane Austen. April, it took me until the end to figure out the killer too. Yep.
That's cool. It's good to hear.
Tony, I love this story. Jason, go rebranding. Reverse harem. Marilyn Campbell, it was a good recap.
Yeah.
Awesome. Janet, this book was adorable. I love the setting, the characters, the magic, everything came together so great. Yeah.
Aw, thanks,
Yeah, you
Jada.
did do a good job because, like, I totally believe the book, and then you put good clues in for her having the book, for her being in the book club, not having, like, right? It wasn't one of
Yeah,
those things where you're like, "Where did this come from? Like,
right.
how did this happen?" Erin, tell them about the Butler Cafe in Japan. Oh,
I did.
we read your mind, Tony.
We did.
Marilyn, I like Minnie. I think she did well at the sleuth thing. Yeah, she did a great job. Rick, why did you choose to set this series in human world instead of a magical one as in your last books? Oh, you have a super fan.
Yeah, it was a good question. I was kind of curious too to just see if people have preferences, whether they like totally fictional, like magic towns, or
Mhm.
magic set in the human world. And I just hadn't done one, so I kind of wanted to try it. And yeah, I kind of wanted to play with some of the more like traditional tropes, like a black cat familiar, and
Mhm.
cute little British town and cute little shop. So I don't know. I was just kind of playing with it,
Oh.
but yeah, branching out a little.
I love the rebranding. I thought we might have to wait until book 2 for that, so I was happy we got it in book 1. Awesome. That is so fun that you got to go to a tea room like this. How fun.
It was fun.
Hi, listening but driving home. Oh, Brooke, don't text and drive. All right, Jana, how long did it take to write? And are you a plotter or a pantser?
Definitely a plotter.
Mhm.
I used to be a pantser, and for me, it just led to a lot of rambling books that never got finished. So as soon as I started plotting, I actually got books done, which was great. And I'm not sure. I think from the start of outlining to being done editing, maybe 2.5 months, but it was kind of percolating for a while before then, maybe 6 months before then. Yeah.
So were the subsequent books faster to write now that you like got the core series concept done then?
It is. And then in some ways it's not, because I usually try to go back and read and make sure I'm using like the same kind of words the characters will
Mhm.
use. And for me, I'm like, oh, I really want them to be consistent, like growing, but also like they're still the same person as in the previous books. So in some ways it's easier because you don't have to build out the world as much. But
Mhm.
yeah, in other times it's like, okay, got to pay attention to what did I say last time? Yeah.
Okay. Jamie, I highly recommend audiobooks of Jane Austen's books. Yeah,
I'm gonna
that'll
try
make it go
them.
faster.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Amber, I had trouble guessing the killer too. Amber, I listened to this one and it was so fun to listen to the audio. I did too. I did the audio version as well.
That was
Did you
fun. My
pick
sister
them?
actually narrates them, and I think she does fun
Oh,
job.
did you pick her or is that like on purpose that you wanted to use her as the narrator?
Yeah, you know what? She started. I was gonna just open it up, and then she had done some voiceover work and expressed interest in doing my audio books way back when I first started doing like my first series, and so she
Nice.
just narrated all the way through.
Perfect.
Mhm.
I have a great recap. Good. Mystery aspect was enjoyable. Awesome. April, I agree the narrator was really good.
Cool.
Mary Grove, I have an ice cream maker that attaches to my stand mixer.
That's cool.
um, Amber, I like the setting. Yeah, I like the world too. Mary Grove, Louisiana. Sheer in Louisiana. April, I like the mixing of human worlds and magic worlds. Cool.
Okay, cool.
I have one like that too. We're all talking about ice cream.
Yeah.
Brooke, I'm not texting and driving. I had to drop my grandma off at home. Good. Ellen, me too. Your sister did a great job.
Thanks. We'll pass this on to her.
Yeah, your sister did great. Do you keep a file on each character so you know their details for the next book?
I do, and I will not always, but I'll usually have like either photos I find on the internet or celebrities that are kind of
Mhm.
who they are in my mind a little bit. So I'll have pictures and data, but I'm also kind of bad about adding things to it after I've written. Like I should do a better job, but I do have files.
So, is it just me, or did anybody else think, like, when you saw the cover of this book, I was like, "That kind of looks like Erin." She had, like, really dark
Okay.
hair. It's funny because on
Yeah,
the second cover, she has, like I don't know, I was like, "Did she get highlights?" It was
yeah,
like super light. What's going on?
yeah. Changes a little bit with the.
Brooke, I love magical elements in the human world. So, are, like they're hidden though, right? Like the whole world doesn't know about witches and vampires.
Right.
Okay.
But in like previous books I've written,
Mhm.
it's like pure fantasy. There's hardly any non-magical people, and the whole town is magical, so nobody has to like hide their powers or anything. So yeah, so setting it in Bath, the human world, is just a little different than
Mhm.
what I had done before. Yeah.
And the only thing that was missing
Mhm.
was a werewolf.
Well, it's true. There might be more developments later in the series, so just
The
just
whole
saying.
time I was waiting for D.I. Prescott to be a werewolf.
Uh-huh.
I was like, okay, we have a witch, we have a
Mhm.
vampire, there's always a werewolf. I'm like,
Yes.
it's a
Yeah.
detective.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I'm like, there's later developments somewhere along those lines.
It does look like Erin. It did. I was like, this is totally Erin.
Oh,
Like
thank you. It's
forever
really
that
kind
way.
of funny, random aside. The model is, just she's
Mhm.
a model. Her pictures are out there, and I randomly saw the same model advertising like earbuds or something. I was like, it's me. So, anyways.
I love the cover. Yeah, it was a fabulous cover. It was one of those covers where you're like, I wish I had that cover.
Yeah.
That'd be
Oh,
such a good
thanks.
idea.
Yes. Shout out to Lynn Harper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, who does your cover? It's what is her thing called?
Oh,
Cover designs or
cover. Yeah.
undercover
I'm like, I can probably check cover affairs.
cover affairs. Yes.
Yeah.
You can go check her out. Jana, I love the setting of Bath. I really want to go now. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great.
You've actually been to Bath, right?
I have, and I would love to go back and spend more time. They're both pretty short visits, spaced years
Mhm.
apart. So, but I kind of fell in love with it, which is why I set it there. So I get to vicariously visit through my books.
How far away is it from London?
It's not that far. I want to say it's maybe like an hour train ride
Oh yeah,
ish.
that is really close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only been to London, and I was only in my
Yeah.
in London in my 20s, where you're like, I'm too cool to leave the city. I just have to
Right.
where all the hot guys and clubs are. So I
Yes.
didn't venture out anywhere outside London.
Yeah, I understand.
Covers are very important, especially in the cozy world. Yeah,
Yeah.
very true. Erin, how much research did you have to do?
A decent amount. I mean, I think it depends because a lot of it I'm making up, right? But I've kind of talked about I got to go to that Bath Butler, or not the Butler Cafe in Tokyo.
Mhm.
And so that was some research. So some of my things I draw from are just things I've lived or watched or seen, over the years. But I did do a decent amount of research on Bath, and like the Roman baths. It's really kind of cool. You can go to their website and they have like one of those 3D walkthroughs, so you can go through the whole thing. And so that was really fun. So I was able to really say, okay, this is what the lobby looks like, and this is where they would go to get out to the pool. And so just kind of I had fun researching some of the bigger landmarks and kind of working them into the story. So yeah, I'd say a decent amount.
I totally forgot about that. She totally has like a bender night where she goes out drinking and partying with all of the hot guys from the tea room, and they end up going swimming, like skinny dipping, right?
Yeah. Yeah, she stays out, but they hop in.
I think that was the point where she was like, it's time for me to go home.
Yeah, I'm heading out.
Which I found funny because I was like, she's a water witch. She could do like fun watery things. But
Yes. Yeah, totally. They just don't know if she's a witch yet. So maybe.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What else do we have? Brooke, even my human senses were tingling when Minnie left the house to go to the police station alone. Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
Jana, I love that you used your own experience to create this world. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. So what are you working on now?
At the moment, I am writing the third book in my Winter Witches series. So it's like a Christmas themed story. And so I'm trying to hit a tight dedeline. Got to get it to the editor on Friday.
Oh,
so
it's for this Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you doing on this call?
I know, right? No, this is my fun break from typing all day.
Well, what is your
editing
writing schedule like? Are you writing during the day? Are you a night writer or weekend writer?
I kind of experimented with different things, but my fiance works at 5 a.m, so he's up every day at like 4:30.
Mhm.
And I have found that if I don't get up with him, the nice thing is he gets off at like 1:30 in the afternoon. And so even if I started at, 10, by 1:30, if he's off, I'm like, well, I want to be off too and hang out. So I found I was just not getting anything done. So I'm now a very early morning writer, but I think my natural tendency is more night, honestly.
So do you guys go to bed at like 7? That is
Yeah,
like way
it's
early.
honestly like 8.
Wow. Yeah, that's like you're a trooper. I remember I dated this guy who did Ironmans, and he would wake up at like same thing, like 4 a.m. to do
Yeah.
like bike rides and runs. And he's like,
Yeah.
it would just be so much nicer if we got up at the same time. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I think we should probably just break up. I don't think I can do this.
I will say, I don't drink coffee because it makes me a little jittery, but I have a matcha latte every morning, and so he'll make it for me and bring it to me in bed, and that is like the only way I wake up. So
Jumpstart the process.
he gives me a little bit of a consolation prize for getting up early.
Yeah. Wow. That is very early. All right.
Yes.
Let's see. Where did I leave off? Jason. Wow. Are we talking
Yeah.
about Christmas? Are we talking about the 4:30? I don't know. Wow to both of them.
Wow.
I mean, a Christmas book sounds awesome. We'll be looking.
Yay.
Mary, you're on Baker's Hours.
Yeah. And hi, Mary. Yes, I am. I'm with you on.
Yeah, it's like those old, what were those donut commercials?
Oh.
Who's gonna make the donuts?
Oh, that does sound familiar.
Everyone was tired. Yeah, it's like from the 80s. Somebody here has to know.
Yeah.
He's your own tea butler.
I'm gonna tell him that.
That's where it came from. The
Yeah.
whole story is about your fiance.
My experiences.
Brooke, I like to be in bed by 8. It doesn't
Mhm.
often happen, but I feel much better when I do. Oh,
I like it, except during the summer up here, it stays bright out till 10, 11 at night.
yeah.
And so it just
That
feels
must be weird.
ridiculous going to bed in broad daylight. So yeah.
That reminds me of being a kid and having a really early bedtime. And I'm like, I don't
Mhm.
understand why I have to go to bed. The sun is
Right.
still out. Oh, that's great. Jason. Wow, to all of the above. Yeah, all of the above. Rick, time to make the donuts. That's what it was.
Rick
Time
knows.
Amber, time to make the Dunkin' Donuts. That's
Yes.
what it is. Dunkin' Donuts. Are you a donut eater?
Yeah. I'm actually like gluten-free just because it doesn't agree with me, but we have a really awesome donut place around the corner that makes gluten-free donuts. So I can smell them sometimes from my front yard. So it's really bad because
Wow.
it's really hard to resist them. Yeah.
Donuts. Now, I love donuts. I'm a filled donut person. I like the
Ooh.
varied creams. I don't know. I
Okay.
feel like if there's not something in there, I feel cheated.
Yeah.
Like with the donut hole, where did it go? Like, just why didn't you just give it all to me? So,
You probably think I'm super boring. Then I like the ones that are just like a little sprinkle of sugar. I can't remember. Old fashions, I think.
oh yeah, those are good.
Or yeah, I was like, it's boring compared to the filled ones, but
Those are a starter donut for me.
okay.
Then we can move on.
Appetizer donut.
Yeah, plus I used to I remember standing in line for hours at Donut Planet in New York. This is
Oh.
before they had like that service where you can just send people out to get them for you.
Oh yeah.
You go wait in line for me.
Yeah.
Bakers still keep those hours. Dunkin' Donuts. Erin, do you write full time now?
I do. Yes. I feel very lucky to be able to do this full time. I used to work part-time as a Pilates teacher too, and then now I get to write full time.
Nice. Mary, I've been working on gluten-free recipes all year.
That's awesome.
You know, I actually don't have a problem with gluten, but sometimes things just taste better when they're gluten-free. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
I think
really weird.
Yeah. I think sometimes the rice flour, they're just a little sweeter, or like it has a little different taste. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Or
so that's good.
thinner, like a thinner
Mhm.
consistency. It's not as like chunky and
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there's not as much filler.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
Brooke, do you have any plans for crossovers in your series?
I do a bit. The first two series, My Spells and Caramels and then Magic Market, they cross over a lot. They're set in the same place. And the last book of the Magic Market series, everybody from the first series comes over. So that has a lot of crossover. In this one, I'm honestly not sure how much I'm going to cross over, but there's already been a couple crossover characters. There were kind of minor characters in other series. But I have a pretty, in the Spells and Caramels, Francis is kind of this very famous vampire, and he's been mentioned in the Spelling the Tea series. So I'm debating if I'm going to bring him in a little more,
I guess it's hard if the other ones have different kind of world setups than this one does, right?
Yeah. It's, the way I've kind of set it up in Spells and Caramels is like there's different countries-ish in Europe that kind of relate to the magical kingdoms, and so England is like the Earth Kingdom, and so they have little communities kind of hidden among it. So I feel like they're in the same world, but it's a very different feeling being with the humans versus in the totally magical kingdom realm. So it is. It's like, it's a little different feel.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll have to wait for a crossover for your next series.
Yeah. Actually, yes. I am planning on that.
April, who is your favorite author and what is your favorite genre to read?
Oh gosh. I don't think I can answer the favorite author. It's really hard to pick. I mean, obviously, I really love my Jane Austen. Incorporated that and gave Minnie my love of Jane Austen. I'm trying to think. I mean, I enjoy some of the fantasy stuff. So I loved all the Lord of the Rings books growing up. But I would say, I would say anything fantasy, and I'm good. TV shows too. It's like, as long as there's just a little magic in there, I'm sold. So, yeah.
I mean, well, let's just go a little further. What is your favorite vampire series or movie?
Okay, I'm gonna admit, I enjoy Twilight.
That's nice. Everybody loves Twilight. Like, I feel like when people say they don't like Twilight, I'm like, you're lying. I know.
I know. Like
all four.
I mean, I can pick it apart, sure, but just as an enjoyable experience, it's really entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, people say they hate it, but I know they've seen all of them multiple times.
Yeah. So, it was kind of a joke, but I used to have a full-sized Edward cardboard cutout
in your house.
Yeah, I mean, I think he got torn in half a long time ago, but it was, like in college, it was like a joke, but it was fun. I would say that I actually really enjoyed, these are both shows, or like movies, but I loved The Vampire Diaries. I thought that was really fun.
Are you Team Stefan or?
I think so. I think I would be Team Stefan. Yeah.
Not Damon.
Sorry, no, I meant Damon.
Okay, bad boy, right?
Yes, the bad boy. I like Damon and Klaus. I just really enjoyed Klaus.
Yeah, everybody liked Klaus.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I cut you off. Was there another vampire show you were going to mention?
No, I think those would have to be my top, enjoyable watches.
All right. Mary, my favorites. Jana, I already know I'm going to read more of the Vampire Tea Room series, but I look forward to reading your other books too.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks, Jana.
Rick, how often do you draw on traits of people you know for your character personalities?
Kind of often. I'm a guilty pleasure. I enjoy reality TV shows, which I always find really kind of fun to pick out like personality traits. So those aren't really people I know, but I do that. And then I don't know that I've ever really sat down and said, this character is this person that I know in real life. But I think there's definitely a lot of just, we all have different sides to our personalities. And so I like pulling some of those from myself out in certain characters. And then, same thing with people I know. If there's certain scenarios where I can picture how someone would react or how they did react, I'll pull from that. I do pull from my dog a lot for anything like animal, familiar related. It's just like,
cat.
So yeah.
Cute. Jamie, what are you currently reading now?
What am I reading now? It's I'm reading Nicole St. Clair. It's another ParaCozy author. The second book in her witch series. I can't remember what it's called right now, but it's like cupcakes, something, and big mistakes. I want to say, mistakes. Yeah, something like that. I read the first book, really enjoyed it. I'm on to the second, so that's what I'm currently reading at the moment. Yeah.
Do you physically read, or do you like the audio?
You know what? I enjoy my sister's audio. I found I'm kind of picky with it. Like I really like when people do the voices. That'll get me in. Otherwise, I tend to like audio for nonfiction or like podcasts.
Mm.
But if I'm reading for fun, for a while I tried ebooks too, and for whatever reason I just like stopped reading. So then when I switched back to paperbacks, I've been reading a ton again. So I think I'm just like a physical book reader if it's fiction.
Yeah, some people do that. Plus, it's probably better for your eyes.
You know what? I think that's part of it is I just get tired of looking at a screen all day. And so
Yeah.
it's just like, okay, I'm unmotivated to read on another screen, but paper's fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Brooke, yes, Twilight is my fave. That series
Mhm.
got me out of a serious 2-year reading slump. I will love it forever for that.
This is fun.
Awesome. I remember when Twilight came out, I was so poor. I would go, I know this sounds awful. We would just go to the bookstore and read it, and then we
Oh
would
yeah,
just write down on our hand what page we were
that's so cute.
This is before the movie came out.
Yeah, yeah.
Living on a budget.
Mhm.
Brit, I just watched the entire Twilight series for the first time. Oh my gosh. Even my husband was hooked.
They have good music,
Yeah.
I will say. Their soundtracks are really good.
Mhm. They are really good. April, promise I am not lying. I didn't enjoy Twilight and never watched the movies.
That's fair. I mean,
Yeah, it happens. You and Stephen King, I don't think liked it. I remember
yeah.
hearing that. Oh, Ivy, what about True Blood?
You know, I didn't really watch the series much. I actually read a lot of the books that it's
Mhm.
based on, and I did enjoy them. They're fun. But yeah,
Yeah, I didn't really watch True Blood a lot either. And I
yeah,
think I didn't have an HBO subscription at the
yeah. I don't
time.
either.
And
Yeah,
then after a couple years, you're like, wow, they're on season 5. I can't even keep up. Like,
right.
what's the point of starting now?
Yeah,
um, Jana, I love that Minnie is an author too. Oh yeah, I
yeah.
forgot about that. Jamie, I had a cardboard cutout of Aragorn when I was in college, so I wouldn't know anything about that.
I feel you, Jamie. Yeah.
Yeah, your sister is amazing.
Oh,
Awesome.
thanks, Mary. Pass
Brooke,
all these
yes, the
compliments
Twilight
on to her.
parents are great.
Her.
I've seen some of Twilight, never finished it.
Yeah, that's fair.
You're you're too young for Buffy, right?
No, I have seen. Yeah, maybe I am a little. I don't know why. I didn't ever really watch a ton, but
Mhm.
what I have seen, I enjoy. So I don't know. I don't know why I didn't get into it.
I loved Buffy. I think because Buffy was around in my 20s, so that was
Okay.
like the ultimate feminist.
Yeah,
You're like, if I get in a fight with a guy, I'm just gonna kick his butt.
yeah. Stake them and
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, all right. I think we covered all of the vampire shows that are out
Yeah.
there. Did we miss any? Obviously,
I
Buffy,
feel like
Angel, The
yeah.
Vampire Diaries. I don't think there's anything out right now that's about vampires on TV, is there?
I can't think of one.
Yeah, I
Oh,
feel like
What We Do in the Shadows, which is a totally different
oh,
genre, but
yeah,
I love it.
that's hilarious. That's a
Yeah.
different kind of vampire.
Yeah.
They just happen to be vampires, right? They're just like comedy people that
Yeah, basically. But yeah,
Mm.
really
Uh,
enjoy it.
yeah. Oh, here we go. Jason, Gen X. Yes, I am Gen X. Marilyn, love me some Buffy. April, Buffy and Charmed. Oh, that's true. Charmed. Yeah, there were no vampires in Charmed, just witches.
Yeah.
Vampire Diaries, Discovery of Witches. I really couldn't get into Discovery of Witches. Did you watch that or read the
I
book?
haven't. Mm-mm.
So it's more, I guess it's too realistic. Like
Okay.
it's historical, it's based in
Oh, okay.
Salem.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Jamie, I'm reading Dracula right now for the first time, y'all. It's so good. Oh
That's
yeah,
good.
Netflix did I feel like it was 2 years ago. Netflix did like a 3-movie series of Dracula.
Have you watched it?
Yeah, it was actually really good.
I think I saw it pop up, but whatever image they used for the cover looked like it was made in like 1970s.
Yeah,
So,
it was like historical, true to like when I
yeah.
first saw it, I was like, I don't know about this. And then like I
Yeah.
couldn't stop watching it. And then all of a sudden I
Okay.
was like, oh, I've watched them all. I guess there are only 3.
That's good to know. I'll give it a try. Yeah.
The Immortals.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Angel was the series. Yep. Buffy. Spinoff.
Mhm.
I never had a cardboard cutout, but I did like a Teen Bop poster of Chris Young, was like in love with him. Yay for 80s and Gen X. I don't think I know who Chris Young is.
I don't either, but I never know who anyone is, so
Okay.
I'm not surprised.
Amber, the originals. Oh yeah, that was another
Yes.
spinoff. There were so many spinoffs from that one vampire from that one show. Okay, The Discovery of Witches are so good.
The books. Yeah.
Jason, the original spinoff, Legacies. Oh, that's right, Legacies. Yeah, I couldn't really get into Legacies. Did you try watching that?
Mm-mm. No.
It was a little too high school.
Yes,
Like,
actually, you know what? I did watch I think I liked that about the Vampire Diaries is they were a little tongue in cheek about themselves. Like there was some humor mixed in, and I feel like the originals just it was a little heavier. It felt like to me, a little
the
more
original
drama.
was heavier. I'm not a big New Orleans fan too. I
Yeah,
feel like they were trying too hard to make New Orleans like a thing. And then Legacies was just, I don't know, they weren't like fun or
yeah,
interesting as the Vampire Diaries for some reason.
yeah. This isn't vampires, but I don't know if you've ever seen the East Wind Witches series. I think they only have 2 seasons before they got canceled, but it's fun.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I don't remember it. Jamie, like a 1970s disco vampire.
It just looked like an old cover, if that's what the thumbnail on Netflix, but not like a disco vampire, just old.
just not current.
I like disco vampire. That's fun.
Amber, The Great Outdoors. Is that a TV show?
Yeah.
Great Outdoors. I'm not sure what that is. I adore Discovery Riches. The history is the best. Agreed. All right. Does anyone have any more questions for Erin? I almost said do you guys. I'm trying to not say guys anymore. I'm trying to say does anyone. It's too bad I'm not from the South because they always say do y'all.
Yeah.
And I can't get in trouble for saying that. Hey y'all.
No. I know. When I'm around people who say it or I'm reading a book where I start using y'all, but then I'm not from the South either, and I feel silly doing it. So,
yeah. Like Madonna when she moved to like London, she just suddenly got a British accent.
Yeah.
Rick, how many ideas for new storylines are on the back burner for other books that you are waiting to write? Probably 1,000, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ways it could go. I will say I have a whole other series with covers and like storylines ready to go, but it's probably going to be a year before I even start writing those. So I would say just a few, honestly. And sorry, but yeah, there's a few in the back burner.
Are you a cover hoarder? Because
I'm not.
You are it. I am.
I started going down that road and then I stopped myself. But it's easy because they get you excited, and I don't know. I see one and I'm like, I want to write that book, you know?
It's like when you see a really great dress or a pair of shoes and you're like, I just have to have them. I know I someday will have the perfect occasion to wear these $1,000 Manolo Blahniks that I don't normally need for anything ever.
Yeah, exactly.
Just need to have them in case.
Yeah.
Amber, movie that Chris Young was in.
Oh, the Great Outdoors.
I'm still not sure. Jason, I have a problem with you guys too, trying to break the habit. Yeah, it's so easy to say. I blame it on the 80s. Okay, Jamie, I'm not from the South and I y'all it up.
All right, well, maybe I'll just own it. And
maybe we should just make that the new statement for the year. Jamie, folks, I use that word too.
Yeah.
Elle, I saw there are 4 books in this series. Will there be more vampire tea room books?
Good question. Yeah, I'm planning at least 3 more.
Okay.
There will probably be more than that, but at least 3 more. Yeah.
And you already have the covers for those?
I have 2 of the 3 covers. Yeah.
Okay. Jana, how did you start writing and what's it like being an author?
I started when I was really, really little. My dad would bring home, I don't know if you remember that, like printer paper where it was kind of like accordions. And so I'd bring that home from work and I would just, write books on that. And so I don't know, I've always just enjoyed writing. I read a lot as a kid. And I think as a kid, that was like the coolest thing I could think of to be is the person writing the books. And I don't know, it's fun. I really enjoy it. There's, anything you do, there's going to be pros and cons. I enjoy being on my own schedule. I enjoy just what I do. I love getting to do this. But, it can't be, it's me sitting alone at a computer for hours all day. So, it's nice to do this and get to talk to people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say, it's a
Sometimes
good
I'm always worried when someone's like, "It's a movie about an author." I'm like, "Ugh."
Yeah.
Like, just gonna watch them type? Like,
Yeah, if this is accurate, it's going to be pretty boring.
yeah, Mary, you can get away with using y'all, I promise. Okay, I'm gonna just say y'all. That's what I'm doing. Tony, have you girls met before? You seem to be really hitting it off. We've never met ever, in
No.
fact. But I will say, every time I email Erin for anything, she's always like, "Yes, I will do it. I will help you with whatever." And then she'll also like say, "I'll actually add some more stuff to that." And I was like,
Yeah. Well, no, I appreciate what you're doing. I think it's really cool. So,
"Yeah."
yeah.
It's more just Erin. She's just super nice and
Yeah.
fabulously friendly to everybody, I'm sure. Brooke, how many books do you write a year?
The last 2 years, I wrote 7 each year. Before that, I was writing 4 a year. And I'm looking at making my schedule for next year. So I'm debating a little bit if I want to keep going or slow down a little bit. But I'd say somewhere between 4 and 7 is kind of a sweet spot for me.
Okay. It's hard. It's like your running speed. Like, how fast do
Yes.
you run?
Yeah.
Yeah, 6. Sometimes you just want to rest.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mary, I'm from Louisiana. Haha. Oh, because I was talking about New Orleans, maybe.
Yeah.
Dot matrix print paper.
That's
Yes,
it. Yep.
that is it.
Yep.
Jason, how long does it take you to write a novel?
Again, it kind of depends a little bit. I usually will set deadlines with my editor just so that I actually will stick to a schedule and like have some accountability. So when I do that, I'll usually give myself like 2 or 3 months to start to finish outline, write, do my self edits, and get it to the author or get it to the editor. But a lot of times things are just kind of mulling around in my head before that. So yeah, a little longer from very start to finish, but about 2 months, I'd say, writing.
You just mean your copy editor. Are you don't need a developmental editor anymore, right?
No, yeah. So just copy.
How many books did you write in your first series before the series got popular?
It's a good question. I don't know. When I wrote the first series, I was just really excited to be writing and publishing. And if anyone was reading, I mean, I'm still really grateful for anyone who reads it. But back then, like anyone reading, I was just thrilled. So, and also I still had my other job, so it wasn't like I was totally reliant on it. So, I mean, I felt like I was really thrilled that as soon as I think I published the first 2 at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
I had kind of written them and saved them up so that I could publish the first few back to back. And what
I said, that's a great idea.
Yeah. So, just advice that's out there. I decided to take it. And I mean, I want to say people were reading it right away, which was really nice. And I think by the time the 5th book came out is when I really saw a spike in sales. So probably my 5th book. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's hard to say, like, when your series got popular, like, when did you become pretty? When did you, like, start dating boys? Like, I don't know. I've always been popular in my own mind.
Right.
It happened right away.
Yeah.
April, do you work on more than one novel at a time?
It depends a little bit. If I get a little jammed up, I might be editing one while I'm outlining the other, but typically no. I'm usually am launching one while I'm working on another, but not actually writing at the same time.
Got it.
I get confused.
Yeah, I do too. Rick, do you self-publish or have a publisher, and which would you prefer?
I've always self-published, so I've never tried working with a publisher. And I enjoy self-publishing, but there are things that I could see would be really nice about having somebody handle all the little nitty-gritty details and do your marketing. And so I think they're just trade-offs. Yeah.
Yeah. Jana, when did you realize you were able to write full-time?
Honestly, like for me, it was just really nice. When I moved up to Oregon, I was able to sell. I had a condo. And so I just felt confident that I had enough of a emergency savings that I could give it a go. And so that's when I did it. But yeah, I would say I felt like I needed to have a bit of a cushion just to feel confident going full time. But sometimes there's a nice thing too, just that peace of mind about not being full time and just getting to do it because you enjoy it. So, but yeah.
I mean, I don't know about you. I'm an only child, so I'm always like, well, if times get tough, I'll just move back home with my parents.
Yeah.
I still
I'm
have
sure
my
that
own
is an
bedroom
option
there.
for you.
They don't care.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
probably enjoy the company.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
get roommates, or, I really like lattes and ice cream. I could work in an ice cream shop. I
Mhm.
could become a barista. They have
I know, so
benefits, right?
yeah, I know, honestly, sometimes I think, like, just a fun little part-time job might be really fun.
Yeah.
Like, you learn the ins and outs of an ice cream shop and then set my next foot at an ice cream shop or
Yeah.
whatever, so.
I would just call it research. So how's your
Yeah,
writing career going? It's so great. I'm doing research at
research.
Starbucks. And then at night, I work at the ice cream shop.
Right.
Monique, how did you know it was time to pursue writing full time? Okay. I
Kind of
mean,
thing,
kind of the
yeah.
same question. All right, so Erin has generously offered to give any book that you guys want, but
Mhm.
you guys, that you all want.
Y'all.
And so y'all just wanted to have book 2 in this series.
Yeah.
So, hey Google, pick a number between 11 and 25. Unless you want to pick somebody.
Oh,
Sorry.
no, go for it. I like that
Okay.
one. Yeah.
All right. So can I do math? 1, 2, it's jumping 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's why Brooke was like typing. She's like, I'm driving, but I'm here.
Yeah.
15, 16, 17. Jason. All right.
Yay! Congrats.
So Jason won book 2. So Erin will send you a signed paperback. So just drop me an email, lisa@lisaseifert.com, and I will get with your mailing address and I'll get that over to Erin.
Awesome.
And the next book that we're reading, so every month, I don't know if you know this, we pick a theme
Oh,
for
fun.
like what the book should be, right? And
Yeah.
so within like this month, it was I don't know what this month it was vampires, I think.
Vampires. Yeah.
And so next month, I don't know why I said angels.
Oh,
There
I
aren't that
like
many
it.
angel cozy mysteries to choose from.
Yeah.
So I found Amanda Lee's Bad to the Bone Angel Biker series.
Okay.
Has nothing to do with angels, but
Yeah.
apparently that's the one that everyone wants to read next month. So that's the one that we're reading, is
Nice.
the biker series.
Very nice.
Do you know Amanda Lee? I don't think I know her.
I don't know her personally.
Okay.
No.
All right. Alrighty. So that's the book for next month. So run out, go buy it. It has nothing to do with angels, even though that's our theme. And thank you so much, Erin, for being
Thank
here.
you. Yeah,
This
it's
was
really fun. I
so
appreciate it.
fun. Yeah. All right. Hope everyone's having a fabulous night, and we'll talk to everyone later.